Shabbat Shalom, dear community family. It's very nice to be back, as circumstances did not allow me to participate in this wonderful greetings on a weekly basis. I did think about you, and of course I'm sure that you read the Torah sections that address the centrality of Jewish life in the last few weeks as the Jewish people prepare to enter into Israel and are given the information and wherewithal of being blessed in the secular society and taught how to live in a world where the Jew is a minority but needs to fulfill his purpose in bringing godliness, holiness, decency, and a sense of meaning and purpose to everyone that exists in this world. Today I want to share with you a moment of a personal experience that I had, of course, on behalf of the community. I was invited by Senator Scott of our Florida community to be with him at the Capitol during the joint session when Prime Minister Netanyahu would be addressing the country and the world. It was an extraordinary experience. First, of course, to see our representation in the government, Senator Scott, his caring in a very personal way in which he has imbued his entire staff with that same kind of purpose and meaning and commitment that was extraordinary. I felt it visiting with them and was so uplifted to hear his perspective of leadership and what the society should look like, which is centered, as he told me, on, of course, God, family, United States of America, and a world of decency, peacefulness, and camaraderie. The event itself was electrifying. It was something that I didn't expect to feel. Of course, sitting in the Capitol, surrounded or at the foundation of the power of the most powerful country in the world, its senators, congressmen, and leadership. Many Jewish people were there, but the majority of that room was filled with Middle America type of people. Not Jewish, but believing in the principles of the United States Constitution, one God, one nation, under God, indivisible, with freedom and justice for all, liberty and justice for all. Believing in that notion, and that concept, and that hope. And the conversation, though presented in an extraordinary way that only Prime Minister Netanyahu can do in his diplomatic brilliance, able to weave a concept and bring everybody involved in that room together with him on this journey of Jewish continuity and the importance of the Jewish people. But the group got together there, of course, represented through the Prime Minister of Israel, but to pay homage to God's way of life, to the Jewish people, and to the Holy Land of Israel. The significance of the meeting was not the pity and the support that America gives to Israel, but the realization that America also shares the common values of Israel, the common standards of Israel, the fundamental foundations of Israel, that the basic concepts that Almighty God has conveyed to the humanity that are based first on the 7 universal laws that God gave to all of humanity via Adam, the first man, and Noah. And then the Jewish people that had the 10 commandments that comprised of 613 various laws and conditions of how to live, having to convey a representation of God in this world and fulfill their mission. Both the Jewish people and the 70 nations that comprise the nations of the world are critical factors in God's creation. In fact, the first person was created, and the first 2,000 years, there were no Jews in the world, just people. And then the Jewish people came along, each one very vital and purposeful in fulfilling the purpose of creation. 70 nations to advance and grow civilization in every way, technologically, scientifically, in every way, in the arts, in the sciences, in the practicalities of life, and the Jewish people, who must imbue that environment with a sense of purpose, meaning, and holiness, godliness, each one vital to the process of breaking the world ready for the coming of Mashiach. As we stood in ovation 52 times during the proclamation, each time I got up, I felt a certain pride of Jewishness, a certain pride of a world recognizing that the Jew is an important factor in God's creation, a critical factor, and must be sustained and must be supported, not because it's a pity to have people suffer, which is true in every case, but because these people are a vital part of our world and need to be given every perspective to continue their lives as God's chosen people. It was recognized, and the partnership of values and commonality of the United States of America under God and the Jewish people under God, both with constitutional factors that direct them in that way. The American people via the Constitution and the fundamentals of the 7 Noahide laws, and the Jewish people via the Torah Constitution in their spiritual life, together with elevating their physical life, of course, in compliance with the American Constitution as well. It was exhilarating. And even when all of these naysayers were outside or inside in certain instances that did not react, you could not feel the negative energy. The positive energy was so palpable. The positive force, it was almost that came naturally. It was not something that they had to figure out and get a sign and when to stand, with a natural effectiveness that touched the core of humanity and gave me every positive thought that Mashiach is on the way. Last week we read about the concept of Mashiach that was prophesied by a non-Jewish prophet. And it's that prophecy that the Maimonides quotes to tell us about the coming of Mashiach. The Rabbi said this is the generation of Mashiach. It feels that way. Both in the secular world and the government of America, and the people that direct America and hopefully will continue to direct America in the proper manner, and of course the Jewish people that are recognizing our unique connection with Almighty God. And when we are proud of who we are, and we promote the goodness and kindness that have been our hallmark, the entire good world shares our process and also integrates that in their lives. Mashiach is knocking on the door. He's on the way. God bless you and have a great Shabbos.